relationship, or so it's going to be insightful. What happened last week, I was only able to get through 5 of the 10 signs. And so today I'm going to go through the other 5, but I'll just really quickly recap the first 5, right? As Celeste said, my name is Monica Narayan. Is there anybody new, by the way, on the call tonight? If you're new, you could just let us know. You could type it in the comments. Just say, yes, good night, I'm new. It's always good to meet new folks, right? If you're new, I am Monica Narayan. My husband and I pastor church, Champion Dynamics International, but we've been counseling couples and individuals, dealing with relationships for years. A lot of what I'm going to share today, it's just practical things that I've learned over the years. And then also, in dealing with people and from my own life and from God, because this is a Christian forum. And so, it's coming from a place, there's also a spiritual side, which, we just can't leave out of life, right? And so very quickly, I am going to recap the first 5 things, right? And now, so this is 10 signs that a man really loves you. Why are we talking about this? Because as I started last week by saying, it seems as though love and falling in love has become complicated, and people can't even tell now if somebody's in love with them. There's all this confusion. There's all, it's like, does he love me? How can I know? And people end up, excuse me, people end up in situationships. They end up going around in circles for years with somebody who's just kind of toying with them, but not being totally clear. And as a woman, you're left trying to figure out where this person is coming from. And it happens on the other side to women, to men too. But this session, this forum, it's for women only. So the men will have to get their issues sorted out elsewhere, right? And so, it's good to know that you're not wasting your time in a relationship. And let me also say that this is not for somebody who, let's say, if you met somebody 1 month, 2 months, we were actually having this discussion yesterday, that I personally, and I said this last week, I personally think that women are too quick to fall in love and just give their hearts away to someone, right? Love comes with a price, ladies, and that price is your heart. That price is your emotions. And love hurts. If you open yourself to love, then you're going to get hurt. And I find that women are just quick to give themselves away to the first person, give their heart away and invest all of their emotions. And, after just talking to somebody for 2 months, or, they're in love, they're ready to get married. I think that's too quick. I personally think that women, you need to take it down a little bit. So this really is for someone who is in a relationship, these points, and it might not be clarity. You're not sure yet, how invested the person is. Or for somebody who has been in a situationship, or somebody has been around them and you're not sure, and you're trying to figure out, does this guy like me? Might not know how to express it or whatever, and you're trying to figure it out. Not for somebody who's in a relationship 2 months, or talking to somebody 2 months and 3 months, right? So let me go with number 1. The first sign that somebody really loves you, and this should be obvious, is that you are very valuable to them. You become like their pearl of great price. And becoming valuable to the person, you'd see the difference. You'd start to see the person start treating you differently. One of the biggest signs of that, that this person is really falling in love with you and values you, they're going to want you exclusively, right? If there were other girls around, that's the end of them, right? When he starts to move like, this is like, you are my girl, I want to be exclusive with you. I don't want, and especially if he's stating that, I want us to be in a relationship. When a man comes to that point, it's because he don't want no other man coming around, and he is willing to drop everybody else. If there were other people around, that's it. He has found his pearl of great price. You'd become his priority. All of these things are things that actually not supposed to be a mystery. You know how you treat something that is special to you, something that is valuable to you. And when you become valuable to a man, and by valuable, I mean he sees great value in you, and he's in love with you, he's going to want to invest in you in a lot of different ways, and you're going to be able to see that, right? So you become valuable to him. He wants you exclusively. He dropping everybody else. He throwing away whatever other options he have. That's the end of that. He wants you, and you become a priority to him, right? That's number one. I don't want to go through last week's one too long. Um, if you are wondering if this person is really invested in you, I think that's a red flag. Because within all of the points, you can see what are red flags in your relationship, right? And if you have to wonder, let's say after a year, if you have to wonder after a year or maybe 2 years of knowing somebody who might be interested, if I'm this person priority, if this person really invested in me, and you have to be asking yourself those questions after a year, I think that's a red flag. That's me. Number two, men are hardwired to protect the ones they love. It's actually a scientific fact. It almost becomes impulsive. They will literally push you out of the way if there's danger. Um, but that's physical, but they also do that emotionally. One of the things that we said is that you will find that you can be the most vulnerable version of yourself, express your deepest fears, and still feel safe and loved and protected by this person. That, ladies, is very important. So I'm going to read it again. And this falls under him protecting you, right? As sign number two, being protective of you in every way. He will defend your character. If you're not there and somebody's saying something about you, he gonna jump in, right? But here it is. You can be the most vulnerable version of yourself. You can express your deepest fears and still feel safe and loved and protected. That's an important um, way that you should feel with someone who loves you, that he's supposed to give you that protection, that umbrella of protection. Men in this protection as well, even though you might just be venting, like you might be having a bad day and you just vented, something happened to you, whatever. They want to try to solve your problems. They want to try to fix things. They want to, they don't want you to be upset. So, and men are more logical. So they would be like, okay, all right, what I could do to help. Let's see what we could do. They don't want to see you sad. They want to fix it. They want to protect you from being hurt, right? Not hurt your ladies. So if you're getting hurt by a man over and over and over, if you are with someone who is putting you in danger physically, well, to me, that's supposed to be an obvious red flag. If he's taking you to places or he has friends who might be dangerous and lying by you, bringing them home by you, or let's say he's literally putting your life in danger, perhaps by where you'll go, you know, yeah, sorry, ladies, but yeah, somebody who loves protects, right? Number three, they motivate and inspire you like nobody else. They will become your biggest cheerleader, right? They will push you towards your goals, your dreams. If a man seems somewhat competitive or intimidated by you and by the things that you are good at and your dreams and stuff, that ain't love. That's actually a red flag. He's trying to limit you. If when you come and you tell him your great ideas, it's like he's trying to tell you, well, no, and those are red flags. He will be your biggest cheerleader. In fact, it will almost be like nobody can say any wrong about you. Like love literally does make you blind. And so the person would be like, talking about you like you're the best thing since sliced bread, right? Let me ask the lady something. I want to ask the lady something. Who on the call, right? Can I see, you can type it in the chat. Can I see who here has been or is in love or has been in love before, or you are in a relationship now and you would say, well, it's love and you feel in love, that feeling of being in love. Can I see you ladies? Can I see? Just say yes, me. It could have been in the past, or as I said, it could be now. Anybody on the call who has been in love? You love our man. You love him. I'm so sorry for the ladies who saying was, right? Yes, Rhonda. Yes, Sunflower, Victoria. People saying yes. You love a man, love him now, or love him at one time. I am, and he's, oh, Amelia, that's awesome. Don't tell me it's Jesus, eh? Don't tell me it's Jesus, right? But yes, Jesus is amazing. But okay, good, nice, Amelia, right? Um, yes, nice. So plenty ladies have been in love, and that is awesome, right? There are stages to being in love, right? And the beginning when you start falling in love with somebody, what is the thing in your brain? Is it dopamine? The dopamine cells, right? listen, it affects not only, it affects everything about you. It affects your thoughts, physical. You become almost consumed by the person, even if you're trying not to be, right? So as a woman, you know how it feels when you're in love with a man. It is hard to, it's hard to hold back how you feel. Even though you try not to show this person, there will be telltale signs because you really love the person, right? Um, and you know how it's, you know what's supposed to happen, you know what you're supposed to do, you know the things that you say, right? You know how you look at him, right? How you, so it should not be hard, ladies. It should not be hard for you to see if a man is in love with you, right? And if a man is so called in love with you, or is in a relationship with you for a while, and you're not getting these things, you're not getting the passion, you're not getting, you know, it's, they're supposed to be obvious telltale signs. It's really not supposed to be a mystery, right? Think about you when you are in love, right? So that was number three. He'd be a biggest cheerleader, he'd be a motivator and inspirer, right? He will not see you as competition, and he will never be intimidated by you. Okay, if a man loves you. That's a red flag, ladies, right? Number four, he will respect you as a person. He will respect your choices, your beliefs, your ideas. He will at least, even if he doesn't agree, he will at least try to see things from your perspective instead of pulling you down, ignoring you, or belittling you. So let's say your way might be really, really different to his way, and your thoughts might be, you know, and he's getting to know you and stuff. And instead of, if a man is always putting you down, always putting you off, like if you're insignificant, and you don't feel respected by him, like you even have a voice with him, ladies, that's a red flag, and that's not a sign of a man who loves you, right? He will try to see things from your perspective, even though he does not agree, right? Number five, he will pick up on the little details about you when you all talk, and he will remember them. He will recall them. He will, if it's things that you say that you like, even if you say it in passing, he will do it again. He will bring it up, right? I gave an example of something like you all might be talking, and this is how you know that he's actually listening, because you all know that you could be talking. Ladies, we like to talk. Women like to talk. It is a scientific fact that women talk and express themselves more than men, right? You're living in a big red flag out there, right? Women love to talk. Not all the time. You can tell, ladies, if someone is listening to you, right? If you are having a conversation with someone, this is anyone now, right? And you have been talking for more than a half hour without being interrupted to even ask a question, or to even agree or disagree, or that person perhaps could have zoned out, right? Or they fall asleep on you, right? Um, but if somebody's actively listening, you are supposed to be able to know. And even if, let's say, you don't pick up on that right away, when they recall things in another conversation, let's say 2 days later, a week later, even a month later, it will be like, wow, this person listens to me because they value you. So when you are speaking, um, right? Sorry, I know. She say her red flag bigger than the one in McCoy. You've been Trinidad and Tobago. Oh my gosh. Well, okay, well, if you have with somebody with such a big red flag, we're doing, girl, we're doing, right? Anyway, um, so I gave an example last week of, let's say, in talking with him, you mentioned what your childhood dog name was. Like you say, we had a dog named Rufus and thing, and you talk about Rufus, whatever. And a month later, he bring up something and he's called the dog named Rufus, right? So you're there like Rufus, whatever, and you'd be like, whoa, this man was listening to me, right? And you could tell. And not only is he recalling what you say, when you talk to him, little details he pays attention to, and would, even if it means him making adjustments, he would do it because he's genuinely interested in what you have to say, right? Him listening to you is not a chore. He is enjoying conversation with you, not a chore. It's not him saying, okay, when this girl going on a hush boy, let me just look here, like, am I just taking this conversation and look like I'm interested, and because this was supposed to do, right? No, he's gonna be interested in really what you have to say, right? So that was the five from last week. And so now I am going into the other five, and then I have a couple of bonus ones that should go without say, um, that I didn't mention because like it's supposed to be obvious, right? But this is the five, so I'm starting today, number six, right? Number six, this is a good one, and this is something that it shows that you all are actually becoming one, right? Um, he would consider your advice and actually even ask for it. You realize he would start asking. In fact, before making decisions, he would ask, right? Because this comes from someone who values you, right? I value my husband's advice very much, very, very much. I'm capable of making decisions on my own, but I always like to hear his input, right? Because I respect him and I think he has wisdom, and I want to hear what his opinion on things, right? Because his opinion matters to me because I value it. And so a man who starts to take, well, first of all, um, he would, right, ask your advice and then start to take it, right? And you actually see him like changing his mind based on what you say. That to me is priceless. And that is a sign that this man really values me. Now, ladies, I'm not talking about taking your advice where you're just trying to control the man. There's a big difference, right? I'm talking about where not you trying to tell the man everything to do. Walk this way, talk this way, you should do this, you should do that, you should do that. I'm talking about that, right? And you controlling him and he doing everything you say. No, no, right? I don't know what a woman wants to do with a man like that they can control. But I'm talking about him having like major decisions to make or whatever, or, and just asking your advice. Or even something as simple as, okay, all the time he wearing his hair, and this happened in my relationship with my husband, right? When I met my husband, he had a hairstyle there that was woo. Um, he had a peak in front, like a peak coming down in front too, and a little length in the back here, and he had a little look going that wasn't, wasn't, yeah, it was a little shaky, the look that he had when I met him. And I obviously didn't tell him anything about how we looked initially, right? Because I actually didn't care because we were friends, right? And that's to show you how love starts to happen, right? I don't care how much peak you have, how much khaki pants you're wearing every day. That didn't matter to me. He was a friend. But when we started getting closer and I started getting feelings for him, I would make suggestions about his hair. And I was like, why you always comb here like that? Why you don't try to comb it like this? And can you imagine how I felt when the next day or a couple of days after I actually saw him with his hair that way? Ladies, that is a huge indication that a man values you. Now, if you keep value in your mind, ladies, because I keep saying the word value, if you understand that relationships and love is supposed to be how you value somebody, um, you realize how easy it will be to figure out, right? So when I saw he actually made the adjustment, I was like, whoa. You know what I mean? I have this type of influence over him. He never used to wear jeans. He would only wear cut pants, and it was a weird reason. But I would subtly be like, why let's go and let's go and see, buy a jeans, let's go, we go shopping. And I'd make certain suggestions, and he would do the same for me. Um, I would wear when he met me, I used to wear a lot of dark colors. Actually I used to wear black most of the times, right? That was basically right. I had a slight gothic thing going on. And he would slowly, not right away, but surely make suggestions and say, why not try you're always in dark colors, why you don't try brighter colors and stuff, and from the time it was a love interest, if that's what you like, I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to try it. And then when I started wearing colors, he'd be like, wow, that color looks so good on you. You should wear colors more. And obviously, if I value you and your opinion, you know, um, nothing is wrong with making adjustments, right? So that's like a small thing, but they can ask advice in other areas as well, right? So, and it shows that he's he's willing to humble himself too. He might have his own thoughts, his own ideas, but if you find somebody you love and value, you're willing to take their ideas and listen to their thoughts and make adjustments, right? That comes with love. That's a natural part of it, right? So that would be a good sign if you are seeing that. You get somebody, let's say somebody, a man who, let's say his hair like his hair was untidy or whatever, something, and you make a suggestion and say, oh my gosh, you will look so much better if you do X, Y, Z, Z, and they do it, most likely that man love you. Most likely that man love you. Especially if it was like his way of life. Now, ladies, I'm not talking about controlling her. And men know the difference between a woman who trying to control them and somebody who really just wants better for them. So their way of dressing or moving or whatever, not using dress, but it could be other things, right? It could be how you notice that they spend money. They might be spending money bad and they give them a suggestion to do budget or whatever, and they start doing it. It could be anything. But if they do it, that's a very good sign, right? So they consider your advice because they value, right? That's number 6. Number 7, he is going to start to include you ladies in his future plan. You become a team. This will happen actually sort of accidentally for him, maybe at first. His conversation will stop going from I to we and us. And when he's talking about the future, he would include you. It would become like automatic to him because he knows he wants to spend the rest of his life with you. And so when it comes to talking about the future, where to live, let's say how much children you want to have, it wouldn't be about him anymore. So, in the early stages of a relationship or getting to know somebody, you're sharing each other's, dreams and what you want for the future and that kind of thing. And so the conversation might go like this, right? Yes, you might ask the person, so where you see yourself in terms of a family? And you say, well, like, I always wanted to have 3 children, and I always wanted to do this, and I always wanted to do that. I always want a house with a white picket fence, or I always want, right? And so he's telling you what he wants. But later on, let's say a year pass or they become closer or whatever, right? When it's love and he starts to see you as future, he will start to see you as part of his future. That conversation is going to change and it's going to be, well, I want us to have 3 children. I really want us, and it would be we, and it would become like a team. You'd realize he's including you in everything. He might even change some major, excuse me, major plans that he had for himself, let's say before he met you, to accommodate you in his life. Now, ladies, again, women have a tendency to control, so I want to make these things clear. I'm not talking about you controlling the man. You meet the man and he had a certain way or a certain plan for his life and you're trying to change it out of selfish reasons. But I am talking about him actually wanting to. So let's say when you all initially met, his plan was to go and live abroad. Let's say that. Or he was going to plan, he had the choice, right? When you all initially met, I'm giving you an example. He had the choice of studying in Trinidad at UB or going to the UK or the US, right? And of his own, you never suggested, you never asked. In fact, you pushing him to go and, fulfill his dream. But on his own, he decided, you know what? I am not willing to leave this woman for a whole 4 years. And in the hope that I come back and she's still waiting on me. Or I'm not willing for a long distance relationship. And so he makes a decision to study here based on you. You see that? If a man do something like that, now I'm just giving you that example. But he's including you in his future, and he's gonna make plans for you, and he's gonna fit you in his plans because he wants you in his future. So if a man starts speaking like that, ladies, he's looking to make you his wife, right? When you see that talk start to come, you start making it, right? Yeah. So ladies, I know this cannot be a sign for you if you are with somebody for 2 months. I don't expect no man to change his whole life plan for a woman he now start to talk to, right? I'm talking about you are in a relationship with someone and it's going somewhere and you're trying to figure out, is this man really does he really love me? Is this going towards marriage? Is this man, right? I ain't talking about you're talking to somebody 2 months and expect the man to drop your life and, and start to talk about marriage. Again, I'm big on it, ladies. Women fall in love too fast, in my opinion, which is why you all get hurt so often, right? But that's another session, that's another topic. That was number 7. Number 8, right? He's willing to spend time with you without any physical or sexual interaction. Now, I'm a pastor. I believe in the Bible and I believe what God says is the truth. And I believe that what God has said to us and it's for our good and it's the better way. Because I do believe, unlike a lot of people, that God is much smarter and much wiser than me. So God tells us not to have sex before marriage, right? But I know, and you know, that lots of people don't take that on. So I know you might be in a relationship, listening now, when you're in a relationship with someone and you all are sexually active. In my opinion and God's opinion, that's not the way it should be. Sex was made for a married couple. You might think it's an old-fashioned thinking, but it's God's thinking, and it's the better way, right? Um, but if somebody's in a relationship with you, let's say you are sexually active or not, but you all know about foreplay and the little what's it first base, second base, yeah. And you're getting into that kind of your relationships become sexual with what squeeze the goods before purchasing. All right, yeah, like that, right? So even if you're not having sex with the person, let me tell you something, ladies, right? One of the fastest ways, especially if you are a believer, especially if you are a Christian, one of the fastest ways to make your relationship become toxic really fast is to get into sexual things. Even if it's not sex, you don't go all the way. But if every time you all come together, there's always it's like, okay, let's get to the part where we kiss and you touch me up here and there, and I start to feel all aroused and I start to get excited. Let's get to that part, right? Nothing makes your relationship get toxic more than that. And a man who, or let's say you are in having sex with a person, which you should not if you're not married. When it becomes all about that, every time you all come together, you have to find a quiet place to go, you have to find a corner to get your groove on or whatever you have to do. It's gonna get toxic. And that is a sign that this person, they have more than love, they have that on their mind. And so a man who is willing to spend time with you ladies without that, who is just willing to listen to you. Now, this doesn't mean the man is not attracted to you. He could be attracted to you with every fiber of his being, but he is not. He's willing to wait. He's willing to respect you, especially if you, as a woman, you don't want that. You don't want any physical. Let's say you say you don't want to kiss, you don't want to whatever boundaries you have. If that man is willing to respect it, right, and he should be on the same page with you, right? I shouldn't have to convince if you are somebody who believes that sex before marriage is wrong, right? I should not have to be convincing my boyfriend that it is. I would want somebody that's on the same page with me, right? And so from the time you all start getting together and it's all about that, I'm telling you all, things are gonna go downhill. But a man who is willing to spend time with you without that, um, he just wants to learn more about you. He's intrigued by you. He genuinely likes spending time with who you are, not for what you can give him or how you make him feel physically. That is a good sign, right? Obviously, listen, if a man is attracted to you, ladies, you would know. He doesn't have to be kissing you up and doing all kind of things for you to know he attracted. You will know. A simple look. There's a way that somebody looks at you when they're in love. You will know that this person is in love with you, right? They don't have the sexual sex and touchy and feely involved. And if that is something that you don't want and he's not willing to compromise in that area, ladies, please listen to me. That's a big red flag. It means, remember, we spoke about respect earlier, right? That's your values. That's who you are. And if he does not respect your values and is throwing it aside, remember we spoke about that, right? He's throwing aside your values and saying, "What are you telling me about no foreplay or no sex? What are you telling me, right?" And he belittling you. And even if it's like a strong belief because of God and what God says, and he's belittling that as well, that's a red flag, ladies, right? That means that person does not share your values. And I would suggest you don't be with someone like that, right? because that's just one area that's going to manifest in other areas of your life if you go on and marry that person, right? So somebody who's willing to spend time with you without the physical interaction, that's a priceless thing, right? Um, and he attracted, but he's willing to wait, priceless, right? Um, number 9, he wants to meet the people. He wants you to meet the people that are important in his life. So that he want to show you off, basically. That might be his parents, or it might be his best friend. It might be a sibling. It might be his boss, his crew. The people in his life that are important to him, he will be excited to let you meet them, right? No, no. Um, this is okay. Not everybody have a good relationship with their parents, right? And for some people, it might be the worst thing. They might be thinking is the worst thing in the world. I don't want this girl to meet my mother or my father because you're afraid of what your parents would say because you know they're a little wacky, your father a little out of time or something, right? Something. So there could be a legit reason, right? Why a man doesn't want you to, let's say, meet his parents, or he a little apprehensive about it because his parents off, right? And he like, gosh, I don't want this girl to get impression of me based on my parents, right? I could understand that, but I'm talking about the people that he considers. So it might be a friend or some, his, let's say his pastor, right? He will want you to meet the people that are, once he's, let's say it is his parents and he values his parents' opinion, his siblings, his friends, he is going to want them to meet you because you are supposed to be the best thing since sliced bread for him. And when you're in love, you think everybody goes see the person that way. You don't always go that way. But still, you anxious to show off the person. He will be anxious to get you to meet the person, right? Um, he would be when you meet the person, let's say it's his brother, most likely they would be like, yeah, this man always talking about you, right? That's how it's supposed to be when you're in love. You ladies who said you're in love, right? You want to talk about the man you're in love with. You just want to sneak him in your conversations, right? Nothing to do with he talking, but somehow you want to bring it up. Yeah, well, Johnny, he does. And everybody's be like, oh gosh, get hush now. You always with this Johnny. Oh gosh, you feel you get the last man in the world or what? That's what it's supposed to be because you love him. He on your mind. You want to talk about him. He's a point of excitement for you, right? Yeah. If anybody ever give it a statement, you feel you get the last man in the world, you get the last man in the world or what, right? Because you want to talk about your man. So ladies, if your man, if this person that you're with, if you are their best kept secret, that's a red flag, right? If when I meet your parents or whoever, your brother, sister, whoever is important to you, and they're like, oh, if they say he never talk about you, and this is somebody important to you, I'd be a little concerned. That's just me. I'd be a little concerned. Or worse yet, they actually avoiding you meeting them. Right now, I'm not talking about. Remember, I clarified. I'm not talking about parents who might be toxic or people. I'm talking about people that the man genuinely love and care about, and he value them. So if he value them, he would want them to be the woman that he values, right? And if he's not, and if there's somehow you feel there's a like almost like he don't want to and stuff. It just could be that the man ain't ready, ladies, to take that step. And he know to him what it means to take you home to his parents or to meet his best friend or whoever he value. He know from the time he make that step, in his mind, he's saying, this is my wife, right? And this is my wife. And so if he's somehow like you trying to get him to take you home and he keep resisting, it could be that he ain't make that decision in his mind yet. Which not necessarily a bad thing, but he ain't reached there yet, ladies, right? But if he showing you off and he talking about you and he excited and he have people saying, we feel she's the best thing, that's a good sign, right? The man love you and he talking about it, right? Simple. These things are not supposed to be mysteries, right? Um, right. That is number 9. Number 10. Now, this might be like a weird one for you all, but it's actually we talk after, right? Um, a big part of these sessions is, you all having an opportunity to ask questions. So that person who asks that question, you'll bring it back up later, right? Number 10. This might sound weird, but he is able to disagree with you and has objections if he thinks that you are going the wrong way or you're making a mistake in your life. No. And you all have healthy disagreements or healthy arguments, right? To me, it's very suspicious, I'm being honest. When somebody tells me, a couple tells me who are dating, that we have no disagreements at all. I honestly, I don't know how that is possible. Maybe it is, right? But a lot of times what it is, right, especially in the early stages, is one or both of the couples, they are so afraid of losing that relationship that they're willing to compromise their own values and opinions to let things slide because they don't want to offend the person in fear of losing the person. That doesn't necessarily mean that you care about somebody. In fact, if you care about somebody, you think about your children. Children do dumb things and make mistakes, right? And teenagers. And when you tell them about it, they get upset. But how could you not, as a parent, if you see somebody going down a dangerous road, right? And so if you're in a relationship and I am agreeing with everything you do, whether I think it's wrong or not, just to keep you, that is codependency, ladies. That is not love. So if a man is doing that, let's say he, maybe I might even know, but let's say I'll give you an example, right? Let's say a man has a strong opinion about how a woman should dress, right? And he does not necessarily agree with a woman with, her breasts all out or a short pants where her bottom cheeks is out, right? But he dating you, he like you, whatever. He don't like it at all, but he's not willing to tell you anything, right? He's willing to put his values, because that's a value that he has, like a core value, and he's willing to say, if I tell her anything, she might think and he just let you go ahead like that. I don't want no friend like that, and I don't want my husband like that, right? If my husband sees me doing something that is wrong, or something that, let's say, could even hurt me, it could even be, okay, let's say take something as simple as eating habits, right? I'm 50, right? So as you get older, you gotta watch what you're eating. If my husband see me eat ice cream twice a week, he will put me up. He'll be like, Nix, what is wrong with you? Why are you eating ice cream? I saw you eating ice cream Monday or whatever. He is not willing to just leave me to do what I want if it's going to bring harm to me, right? And if you realize, ladies, that let's say you have a destructive habit or something in your life, right? And you meet a man, nobody ever called you out on it before. No man, no boyfriend there. Let me go back to my husband, right? When I used to dress not the best, I used to dress, I didn't care about anybody and I would wear what I want, right? Whether it's inappropriate, short, tight, I didn't care. He was the first male person that I knew that told me about a certain way that I would dress. We weren't even in a relationship. He just said, I had a top where it was like low down on my shoulder, my brow was showing. And he was like, your brow showing. He knew I knew my brow was showing, but he was just, and I was like, yeah, and I pulled it up, right? And he would make mention if I had on a skirt that was too short or tight. He was like, gosh, what are you trying to do, Kill? You're trying to kill them off. He would make statements like that. He would try to do it in a light way, right? But he wouldn't just leave me. And I appreciated that. I'm being honest. I was dressing that way and I knew it was me being rebellious, right? I didn't care. And so him pulling me up, I was not offended. I didn't feel like in any way he was trying to control me. I saw it as him valuing me and not wanting me to present myself in that particular kind of way. Now I'm using dress as an example, but this could be in many other ways. As I said, if he met you and you have had a bad habit, let's say he met you and you're smoking, right? I ain't saying smoking is a sin, but it's certainly not good for your health. And he keeps suggesting, subtly, why you don't take up another habit? Maybe buy a patch, and he's suggesting take a patch to stop smoking. The man is trying to help you, right? And those things sometimes could cause disagreements and could cause little arguments because you wouldn't necessarily agree, but it means that he is willing to take the risk because he cares about you to bring up these things. And it's supposed to be a healthy thing, right? So somebody who is just agreeing with everything you do and just going along with everything you say does not necessarily mean that that is love, ladies, right? Um, if he's disagreeing with you but trying to help you in certain areas, um, he's trying somebody who has your best interest at heart. He wants you to be the best version of you. And so if he's seeing that in certain areas of your life, you're not showing your true potential, or something that you're doing, some habit that you have is keeping you back in life, he would not be afraid to bring that up, thinking, well, okay, she will get back, she will lose I will do anything to keep this woman, no, right? Because he loves you, genuinely cares about you, and wants the best for you. He not looking, a man who will leave you in your folly just to keep you around is looking out for the best for him. All he care about is he wants you in his life, right? But he don't care about you being the best you. And he willing to see you go down a road of destruction, or where you could actually harm yourself, or you're making a bad choice, right? And so having disagreements and healthy arguments, and this goes for you too, ladies. If you have a man and you want that man so bad that you're willing to let him live any kind of lifestyle, that's codependency, right? Um, you realize he have friends that leading him astray, and you're afraid to tell him, you're just leaving him, and everything is okay, okay, babe, all right, you just agreed with everything. I want no friends so, and thank God my husband not so, right? I want to know that if I'm doing something that could be destructive, sometimes, a lot of times, ladies, we do not see our own faults. We cannot see ourselves as villains. We cannot, it is difficult for us to look within and say, oh my gosh, I'm failing in this area, or I'm messing up in this area. But if there's somebody in your life who could point it out to you, that is actually a valuable, priceless thing. Because people who just leave you be and say, yeah, it's a big thing. She bottom cheeks hanging out, but whatever. Is she bottom? Yeah, let she do she thing. You know? Mm. Even a simple thing sometimes, like when you're looking off, like, kill you dead, you're looking nice now, but your hair off, or some around your clothes or something, and it's nice to have somebody who come and say, hey, that might be the best look for you. Maybe you might try to do it this way. And it's not the person criticizing you. They're just genuinely trying to help you in life, right? And so that is number 10, right? That is number 10. So I'm gonna read over, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 things that I don't want to mention as main things, but they are signs, right? Because some of them, they could be ulterior motives. A lot of these that I mentioned, it's very difficult to fake. It's difficult to fake. And we know there are guys out there who are players, and they will do what it takes to get a woman, and they know what women looking for, they could do it. Some of these things are really difficult to fake. Some of them are, but they're little things that could be indications as well. And I'm not saying, ladies, I'm not saying the man has to have all 10 or show you all 10, but at least 4, at least 5, right, of these things, at least half. And and the person is getting there, right? It would be a good sign. And so I'm gonna read them over, but here what I want you all to do, if you are in a relationship now, or you were in one in the past, now you could look back and say, oh my gosh, this was a red flag. This man never respected me, right? I want you to take it to heart, if it means writing it down and paying attention to your relationship, right? So number 1, he's gonna make you his pearl of great price. You're going to be the most valuable thing to him. You are, I mean, in terms of relationships, right? You're going to become his priority. He's going to want you exclusively. So he is going to drop all other options. Any man who claim he love you and he keeping his options open, keeping his options closed, ladies, forget that. He ready. When you become so valuable and when he love you, he actually don't have eyes for anybody else. He becomes boo-boo eye, right? So number 1, you become his pearl of great price. Number 2, he's gonna protect your emotions and also protect you physically. Number 3, he will motivate and inspire you. He will be your biggest cheerleader. Number 4, he's gonna respect you as a person, your choices, your values. Number 5, he will pick up on the little details when you talk, details about you. details about your face, even I didn't bring up that, even about your physical. He'll start to notice things that maybe nobody has ever noticed, right? Number six, he will consider your advice and he will value you to the point where he wants to get your advice before he makes certain decisions. That's a nice thing to know a man wants to do, right? Number seven, he's going to include you in his future plans. He'll start talking instead of saying, I'm going to become we and us. He might even make some changes to accommodate you. Number eight, he's willing to spend time with you without the physical, without the sexual part of it. Number nine, he wants you to meet the people that are important in his life. The people that he value, he wants you to meet them. He's anxious. Number 10, he disagrees with you, has objections when you're going wrong and is willing to help you to make better decisions, right? He's not afraid to disagree with you for your better. That's number 10. So here we go into the little ones now. Now, this is the first of the little ones, jealousy. Another sign that a man, now jealousy is a healthy part of a relationship. I don't think you can love without being jealous. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. If you as a woman okay with your man spending more time with some other woman, something wrong with you. And if you realize ladies, you tell me if I'm wrong. If you find your boyfriend spending more time with some other girl and talking to, you're supposed to get jealous, right? He ain't supposed to be spending more time with any other girl and talking to no other girl. But if it happening, let's say it happening, that's supposed to bother you. How could it not bother you that your boyfriend is spending a lot of time with another female, right? To me, it's impossible that cannot bother you, right? Jealousy is a part of love. Even God in the Bible makes reference to being jealous over us. When he talked about us, just going behind the things of the world and having passion for the things of the world and not him. So jealousy is not a bad thing. So when you realize, so let's say you are friends with someone, you're friends with the person, all right, you're getting close to the person, and you realize he starts all of us, or he was okay with the other friends and things before the other male friends, but as time goes on, you realize it's part of the being exclusive. He starts to reel you in, and when fellas start to come around, it kind of bothering him now, right? I'm not talking about possessive and controlling, but if a man is in love with you, he wants you for himself, and so it's natural for somebody to become a little jealous if there's somebody coming around, and that sometimes for a man could actually be an indication of, wait now, why I feeling this way, boy? Shit, and you realize, wait now, I'm not willing to lose this woman to anybody else. I'm going to commit. Because you don't want to lose her, right? I'm gonna make her my girlfriend. We're gonna start dating or whatever, right? So jealousy is it's a healthy part of love, right? I'm not talking about possessiveness or somebody getting enraged. I'm just talking about, you just think about you and you'll understand you and how you feel about other women in your man life, and you'll understand what I mean, right? Ladies, this one is very simple and I should not have to say it, but a good way to know, a good sign, this is a big sign that a man in love with you, is that he tell you, how come that, why is that not just part of it? Unika, we've been spending a lot of time together. I realize that you have become very important to my life. I find you beautiful. I love spending time with you. You make me happy. I find you so intriguing. And I think I'm really falling for you. And I want us to be in a relationship. I want us to be in an exclusive relationship. I want us to go. Let's do this thing. Let's get to know each other. I could see us having a future together. Yeah. If he really listen, if he love you and he's not willing to lose you, he go tell you. Simple, real simple. If he can't even get out his mouth, then come now, right? He would tell you, okay, ladies. So he that's a pretty good indication, right? When you're in love with somebody, and you all know this, the person is on your mind a lot. Sometimes, and it's sometimes even God might get jealous over us when we're in that love stage, right? As you open your eye, that's the first thing you think about. Oh, Johnny, right? Before you go and sleep, that's the last thing you think about. I'm talking about you ladies, right? if a man is really in love with you, right? He's thinking about you. So if he's thinking about you, you are on his mind, right? He's thinking about how you look, how you smell, and you know, he actually cannot wait to see you again, right? So let's say he saw you Monday and your next scheduled time to be together is Thursday. He might find a way to fit in between Tuesday or Wednesday. You're on his mind. So something like a simple thing like if somebody's supposed to be in love with you, right? And they will text you, they will message you, they will check in on you. Sometimes it might be an early morning, hi morning, how you going? I hope you have a blessed day. Just to get at it, they want to talk to you. They just want to see you responding to them on a phone, or they just want to hear your voice, right? And so if somebody's supposed to be in love with you and you don't see them, you don't hear from them in 3 days, 4 days. No, oh gosh, ladies, everything within reason, right? Yes, somebody could be busy and so on, but we're talking about a man who in love with a woman, right? This is something to pay attention to, right? You're texting the person, or he's supposed to be, there's supposed to be somebody in a relationship with. You might text him at 10 o'clock in the morning and you get a response 9 o'clock in the night, right? So you text him 10 o'clock in the morning and he responds 9 o'clock in the night and he say, hey babe, I was real busy today. Sorry, I couldn't message you, right? But nothing wrong with that, right, ladies? I'm saying, but when you all are together, he always on his phone. He's somebody who's always on his phone. So there are people who their phone actually don't leave their hand, right? And so when you're lineman, yeah, he's talking, you're vibing, whatever, but his phone always in his hand, and you always chatting. You always on or something. Whether it's not chatting, not chatting, he's scrolling on TikTok or whatever. Which means if your message, if you're somebody who that your phone is close to you, is a part of your daily life, always in your hand. If I text you 10 o'clock in the morning, I say, hey babe, how you going? It ain't taking nothing out of you to respond. Hey, I'm cool, busy today, we catch up later. Love you, bye, right? But if hours or days go by and this person not texting you, not calling you, not checking up on you, now I don't know about you all, and I really honestly, I know what love, that initial stages of falling in love was like for me. And you felt like you want to be with the person every second. I did not have a cell phone with my first boyfriend, right? We didn't have cell phones. So it was when he come by. And I remember he used to work in our car. That boy used to walk from Orange Grove, Macoya, right? He would walk from Orange Grove by Macoya, there by Eddie Hart. He used to live in the back there. To by me in Cane Farm, Trinity City, almost every day. He would walk and walk back, right? Walk, yeah? Every single day and sit down in the gallery to talk to me, right? But that's until you get a job. Obviously, when you get a job, you can't do that. But still, you're trying to find, right? So guys, don't take on that fella who telling you he didn't have time, right? When you know he always on his phone, right? What pastor you had it going? yeah, yeah. And with my husband, when he used to travel a lot when we first met, right? And when we started getting closer, as he come off that plane, I would be the first person he called. Well, I lived close to the airport, so I would go pick him up, or I used to work in the airport in the early stages, or he'd go home with me. But as he couldn't touch down and not tell me, and we go on a line one time. I had her in his house, or he come by my house, or we gone somewhere, right? You know, next time when you come off the plane, if you're in love with me, it's me you want to see. Who else you want to see? Who else you want to go by? Who else you want to talk to? It's the person you love, right? So I'm saying all that to say, I don't know since when love has become this confused thing when people not sure if they're in love or if somebody else in love. You're supposed to know if they're in love, right? Love is something that involves passion and you wanting to spend time with somebody. You um how should I say? Not I don't want to use the word infatuation, but infatuation does play a part in the initial stages of falling in love. If you're infatuated with the person, right? The infatuation does go away after a while, and it should. You can't live so all the time. It's actually not good for you physically to stay in that love, that fast-paced love zone there all your life. Woo, you will lose weight, your metabolism weight, just the love have you. Love have you losing weight because you know when you're in love too, you just can't eat and sleep. That's a part of it too. You're actually restless. Person on your mind. Food has become a in the early stages. I'm talking right. Food is not a priority, right? Or like it took for hours. Your belly could be growling on your phone. You could be here in your belly. You ain't care, right? While you're talking. Food what? Right? So, ladies, it's not supposed to be a mystery, right? Um, last one. He is blind to your flaws, right? Now, I'm talking about physical here, and it could also be otherwise. Um, I'm sure nobody on the school considers themselves the most beautiful person in the world. Anybody on this call considers themselves, all right, let me know one word. Anybody on this call considers themselves the most beautiful person in Trinidad? If you consider yourself, please let me know in the comments. Anybody, you consider yourself the most beautiful woman in Trinidad and Tobago. Is there anybody like that on this call? You can say yes. I find I am the most beautiful one in Trinidad and Tobago. Anybody? Not expecting to see anybody type, right? So I'm not waiting for response. Ever met a man in love with you, or you are your husband or your boyfriend right now, Beyonce, who has said to you that you are the most beautiful woman in the world, and they do, as Amelia says, he makes you feel like you are the most beautiful woman in the world, and he literally does not have eyes for anyone else. I am not saying that he wouldn't see another woman and say find another woman attractive, but he is like he only has eyes for you. And things that you find are flaws about you, he actually might actually find attractive. Again, going back to my husband, um, I was teased about my forehead as a child and a teenager, right? It is large, right? One of the things that I would never do is comb my hair back. Never. And in fact, as a teenager, I would always have a donkey mane, right? Woo! I haven't said that word in a long time. But you know what donkey bane is? I haven't said that word so long it's somewhere, right? We call it bangs now. But in my day, it was called a donkey bane, right? Nobody ever heard of but Sally. Okay, the older ladies, come now. Not a muff. Can I get somebody who know what a donkey mane is, please? Please? Anybody there with me? I know it's a bang now, but I'm looking for the ladies who can back me up who have heard the term donkey mane. Please. Anybody? Please, I'm looking for one. Thank you, Abby. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I knew it as a donkey mane. Right. Thank you. Thank you, Sunflower. Thank you. Right. Yes, I've heard it. Wonderful. Good. So I'm not mad. Right? I'm not mad. Right? Anyway, donkey make. Oh gosh. Obviously hers was covering her eyes, right? So I would always have one as a teenager because I was conscious about my forehead. My father used to pass and pull my forehead. Right? It's kind of big. It's kind of big, right? When I met my husband, he started telling me, right? I never mentioned anything about my forehead, but he would tell me that my forehead is like a model's forehead, like a model. He was like, no, your forehead is like no models have forehead. I just telling you what the man say. I just tell only what the man say, right? But I mean, I'm being honest with you, it did something to me. He literally saw nothing wrong with my forehead. Up to today, he'll be like, what? Nothing wrong with your forehead. But I grew up with an insecurity, a slight insecurity, um, with my forehead to the point where I would hide it, right? And for years I did that. But he didn't see it as a flaw. He actually saw it as an asset, right? Um, that is a good indication, ladies, if a man is really attracted and loves you, and where even your flaws become and your quirks and your little things that might be odd, he might find them cute. Where you might come down on yourself about certain things and aspects of your personality and your physical, how you look, but he doesn't see the way you do. He actually sees them as cute or good or they come up before it now, right? Right? He would actually see. So even your flaws will not look like flaws to him, right? And listen, ladies, I think love was designed to be that way because it cannot be a matter of people falling in love, a man falling in love with you. It cannot be based on you being the most beautiful woman in the world because you're not. And so, if getting together and falling in love, if it was about you finding the most attractive girl in the world, there are people who would not ever find love. Let me be real. I might have been one, right? If it was about that. So there's something that happens when you fall in love, where people, even how you look physically to them, they are attracted to you. And I believe God designed it that way, right? It can't be about competition and who prettier than you and some prettier. If you worry, if you're in a relationship, sorry, my child just made a very strange noise. If you're in a relationship and but pastor no ugly, my husband not ugly, of course not. He's very handsome. Or is it me you're referring to? Thanks for telling me I'm not ugly. If you're referring to me, right? No, yeah, Kevin, very handsome. Anyway, if you're in a relationship, well, like stop with the forehead thing now, no, kill it, right? If you're in a relationship and you intimidated by a prettier girl who, let's say, comes around your boyfriend or let's say your husband, man, there's no way to live because there are plenty prettier people than you guys. I don't know if you all figured that out yet, but they are. So it can't be about you being the prettiest you could be for him. It has to be about him loving you for who you are, right? And loving you for who you are doesn't mean that you can't make improvements. Like I said, when I met my husband, I tried to help him the best I could with our hairstyle because it just wasn't happening. And he helped me tremendously as well with even physical things, right? He actually used to buy clothes to me because he used to travel plenty. Man, I used to enjoy that when he come back and he used to have taste in those days. Now, failure. There's almost nothing that he buys to me that I like. But when we were dating, um, everything he bought, I would like. And he would buy clothes to me, and I would always like the style, right? And he kind of helped me change my style a bit, and I helped him change his style. Nothing wrong with that. But it can't, ladies, it can't be about you trying to keep up your beauty to be the most pretty but most attractive to him, right? It has to be him loving you deeply and sincerely for who you are, right? And so that's the last one. So those four again, the him being jealous of other men, very natural and supposed to happen. Um, him telling you, I should have put telling you first, just letting you know how he feels, right? And him having that passion to be with you, to talk to you, to text you, to find out how you're going, to check in on you, it'll be hard to avoid doing that if you are in love with somebody. It's going to be hard to not talk to them, right? Not be there for them, not want to be with them, not want to see them. They're gonna even make excuses, right, to see you. Um, and then he becomes blind to your flaws or the things that you consider um flaws. He doesn't see that, right? So yeah, I going to give you all now an opportunity to ask questions or make comments or add to my list because obviously I don't have everything there. I'm sure there are other things. Number one covered a whole lot of things. Him making you his pearl of great price. To me, that covers everything because if you value somebody, if you find a woman that you value more than any other woman, the telltale signs are going to be obvious, right? So it really should not be a mystery, ladies. I would hate to think that you are in a situationship with somebody who's taking you on a run for years and you're still trying to figure out if this man really into you. Watch me or they ride out. If you're in a relationship like that, ride out. You deserve all the things I spoke about there, ladies. You deserve that. You deserve a man who's passionate about you. You deserve a man who want to talk to you, who's willing to let go other women for you. You deserve a man who wants to protect you emotionally, physically, right? So why settle? You're not desperate. I think I said this last week. How you value yourself also will indicate your choice of man. And so you and the things that you're willing to accept, ladies, you have to value you first. And if you value yourself, there's certain things you just will not accept from a man, right? And you will never settle. You will not settle. because there'll be no need for you to settle, because you know if this man not serious about me, well, I'll meet the person who really wants to spend their life with me eventually, right? So guys, I'm giving you opportunity to ask questions.